Toni. 1 second.
Yes.
Hey everyone, welcome to It Doesn't Happen Overnight. I'm your host, Toni Adeyemi, and I'm here today with Derrick.
Hi.
Hi, Derrick. We are here on this rainy day in LA, and I just wanted to bring Derrick in to talk about his journey as being a manager all these years.
Yeah. Well, it started off. I used to hate managers because I worked on the other side.
Like in the music.
Yeah. So I worked. Well, if we want to go all the way back.
Yeah, we have time.
Okay. I started off as a rapper.
Uh-huh.
Nickname was Lottery. Rap name was Lottery. And thought it was pretty good. I thought I was going to make it. Ended up moving to New York and then Atlanta and then eventually Los Angeles. And in Los Angeles, I ended up getting the opportunity to work at Motown Records.
Mm-hmm.
First I worked at Universal Music Publishing and then moved over to Motown Records as an A&R. So I dealt with a lot of managers when I was trying to sign acts.
Yeah.
And then eventually the first client I picked up as a manager was your brother. Tobi Lou. So yeah.
That was your first client as a manager?
That's my first client. I never wanted to be a manager. I met him. The Chicago White Sox hit me up one day. I was sick. And they were like, hey, it's this kid who used to play baseball. We know his mother. Can you check out his music?
Yeah, I
and let
heard
us
my
know?
mom did some typical Ronchi champion meddling.
Can you let us know if he's good or not? So I said, okay, cool. So I listened. And I normally, when people send me music, I don't really listen.
Oh, okay. Because because people will send me stuff being like, hey, will you listen to this mixtape and give it to I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I won't. But...
So I listened. I listened.
What song was it? Do you remember?
The first song I heard was Game Over.
Hmm.
And then I kept listening. I heard Humpty Dumpty. And then I kept listening and I heard Text Me. And then I went to look him up and try to find out, why isn't this kid famous? And I'm looking up videos and everything. And I see him with the pink socks and everything. I said, what the fuck is this? And do we curse on it?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. I said, what the fuck is this? And I'm just looking. And then finally, I'm like, oh, no. I called him. I said, hey, where's this kid at? I have to work with him in some way or form.
What intrigued you about him? Was it the fact that he was just different, or
No, that scared me about him. What intrigued me about him was that I got the same feeling I got when I first heard Kanye. And Kanye is my favorite artist. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, wow, he made me I got into that whole, I heard Old Nunu too, and that did it for me.
I love that. That's one of my favorite
I felt like I was listening
songs.
to Kanye, and I said, I need this kid, right? So.
And was this you were you in the mindset of A&R, or were you in the mindset of, I'm going to manage this person? Like, what was
A&R
at the time?
But when I had him come through, I told him, come through the house and everything and stuff. My whole thing was just like, oh, okay, A&R mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was like, hey, I can be this kid's manager.
Yeah.
Right? Because at the time, the only person I was working with Damian Lillard from the Portland Trailblazers.
Mm-hmm.
And I was overseeing his head of A&R for his company that he had with him and his cousins. So I was in A&R mindset. And I remember I was like, oh, I'm going to take this to Dame.
Yeah.
Dame, he could be on Dame's label. That was the first mindset. And then finally I was like, wait a minute. I think I want to be his manager. And I remember asking him, I said, hey, how about, I'll be your manager since you don't have a manager. He said, oh man, he had a bad experience with the last manager and everything. So I was like, I'll tell you what, let's try it for 3 months.
Okay.
If you rock with it, then let's make it official. It didn't even get to 3 months. After I think a month or so, he was like, hey, let's just do this. So I was like, okay, great, But that was my first artist. And then I got to the point where I was like, I'm a new manager. Oh, okay. I'm just going to get him a record deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became, majors suck. They give the most horrible deals. It's basically slavery, right? So I was just like, nah, got to figure out something else. Got to figure out something unique to do.
And at the time, I feel like, because this was 4 or 5 years ago?
This is 2016.
2016, yeah. So about 4 years ago, I feel like a lot of artists were doing the independent route. Like, I feel like this was like when Chance was like really blowing up, and you were seeing that it was possible to be a successful independent artist if you did it correctly.
Yeah. So, like, we almost entered into a deal with a company, and I told them, I said, all we want is a 50-50 partnership. We're not greedy. We just want a 50-50 partnership.
Yeah.
Right? They weren't with it. They were like, no, 16 points. 16 points. 16 points is basically, like, people will tell you in the industry, 16 points is a great deal. It's bullshit. 16 points is 16% out of a pie of 100.
Of everything that you do.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Well, no, not everything you do. That's just dealing with the music.
Got it.
Right. They wanted something crazy like 10 or 15% of shows, and they wanted a percentage of everything, but it was going to be different percentages. And it got to the point where it's like, no, So I reached out to my mentor, Taz. She's head of Art Club. That's her company, and she manages Jhene. So I was just like, you know what? I was telling her about the situation going on over there, asking for advice. She said, "But let me hear the music." I played her the music. She said, "Nigga, fuck them. Let's do it together.
Let's do it.
Let's do it together. But if we do it, I want you at Art Club with me." So I was like, okay, I'll bring it to Toby. Think about it. We decided to do it. And yeah, I ended up at Art Club, where I'm president right now.
Wow.
So yeah.
So that was it just happened with a person.
Happened.
It didn't say, I want to be a manager now, let me find someone. You were like, you found someone that you wanted to manage.
Yeah, so now I'm Toby's manager and A&R. I'm doing both. And psychiatrist and everything else. But we're on tour, and we're doing all these shows. We even came to your school, Stanford. We went to all these
times.
Yeah.
You've been at Stanford like 4 times.
We lived there.
Both
That's our second home.
Good and okay shows.
So we're going places, and nobody thought about getting a DJ. So we're doing plug and play. And finally, I'm like, bro, we got to get a DJ, right? We have to get a DJ. He basically was like, I don't know. I wanted to be somebody that I rock with. You know what? I'm going to get Dre to be my DJ.
Dre is Toby's best friend from ever, basically.
Yeah. Dre didn't want to be his DJ. Dre could have done anything he wanted to do.
Yeah.
He puts his mind to it. I just think Dre didn't want to do that. Dre more so probably wants to do more. Like, he got a great ear. Yeah. So I see him as more of a producer or something like that. But he didn't have a passion to be a DJ. I could just tell he did not want to be a DJ. Yeah. So then finally I was just like, I was trying to wrap my head around how do we get him a DJ. We're in New Orleans. We're opening for Cardi B and Machine Gun Kelly. And
was Machine Gun Kelly opening above Cardi B?
So it went Tobi Lou, Cardi B, Machine Gun Kelly.
I remember this show, and it's so funny because at the time I would have thought still Cardi B, but I mean at this point she's headlining almost anything.
It was
that
equal
she would do.
Billing though, kind of, you know. So because she had all the hits out, you know. She didn't have the album out yet, but she had all the hits. Yeah. So it was equal billing, but I remember being scared because he said, "Can you DJ for me?" All it is pressing this and that. I'm up there. I'm scared. I wouldn't let the sound guy get away from me. I'm like, no, stay up here with me. Stay up here with me. I'm scared as hell. We're in New Orleans in front of all these New Orleans guys with dreads and stuff. It reminded me of being back home in Chicago. And I was just like, oh, they're going to roast me. I'm going to be horrible up here, right? And that was probably the worst show we've ever done. And
for what reason?
Numerous things. I didn't know how to DJ.
Okay. That's one.
We didn't gauge our audience.
Like what songs you were doing?
Yeah, it was just bad. Yeah. It was these are the early days. It was bad, right?
I feel like that's a good thing to hear because I feel like me being his sister, I get to hear a little bit more of the ups and the downs of it, but it's like you're gonna fuck up a bunch of times.
And this was bad. Right. This was bad. But a funny thing happened. After that, we started, okay, this is going to be the song. Because before it was just, oh, I have this song. We could perform this. Then it became, nah, we have to plan this out.
You have to tailor it to an audience.
Yeah.
Everything is about the people you're performing to, because you go to Stanford, a totally different set of people than in New Orleans.
Exactly.
Who's going to see Cardi B, Machine Gun Kelly. It's like, you got to figure out what crowd you're going to.
Exactly. And
especially before you have your own fan base.
Yeah, and we didn't have our own fan base.
Yeah.
So that, you know, and you have to go through these things sometimes where you have to go through the fire to realize, oh, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So after that show, we had Bonnaroo next.
Yeah.
So my first DJing gig is, you know, we're opening for basically Cardi B and Machine Gun Kelly. The next show is, we're doing Bonnaroo the day Eminem's a headliner. And I'm just like, oh, jeez.
So you're thinking about, how do we not do what we just did again?
Yeah, so...
I think the Stanford show was actually in between that. Because I remember y'all were at Stanford, and then you were going to Bonnaroo.
Yeah.
Because I was like... I almost panned where that Stanford show had like 15 people at it.
We're not going to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about that Stanford show.
We're not going to talk about the Stanford show. The Stanford show doesn't count.
Doesn't count, because then I saw Bonnaroo the next day, and he had an amazing crowd.
We went to Bonnaroo. We stayed in Atlanta, but drove up to like right outside of Nashville. We're in his hotel room practicing all night. It's me, him, and Mish. And Mish is just looking on as we just practice, you know? And it was weird. But it was crazy because I was like, I was like, hey, I know for this song you do this dance. Let's try doing the dance together. And we just coming up with different ideas, which we now do in the show.
I mean, like, because I feel like, especially two people with awesome personalities, you and Toby, there are some times where you can probably just go out there and it will be great, but there is something that comes with like being just that much more intentional about it.
Yeah.
And it pays off in this amazing way.
So let me tell you the amazing thing. We're leaving the hotel to go to Bonnaroo, and we're on there with a bunch of AU basketball players. Mm-hmm. And they were like going like this, like, oh my God, it's Tobi Lou. And I was like, wow, they know who Toby is. Mm-hmm. That's crazy, right? We're in Atlanta. And they were scared to go up to him, so they asked me, hey, can I ask him for an autograph? And I'm like, yeah, sure. We weren't used to that, right?
Yeah.
I remember calling home like, Mom, they were asking Toby for his autograph. This is crazy, right? You know, it's commonplace now, but then it was like, wow. Mm-hmm. So we get to Bonnaroo, and I'm nervous, you know, but I'm like, you know what? I don't have to be nervous. Ain't nobody gonna be here. So it's me and Toby. We get there. People were camped out at Bonnaroo for his set at his stage, and saying, oh my God, Toby's here. And we're like, wow, this is different. So now I'm nervous again. I'm not gonna say who gave me a drink, but shout out to Kristen. Oh yeah. Okay. He gave me this drink. And within the drink, to this day, I still think I was drugged. I don't know what was in the drink. But he says it wasn't nothing in there. But all I know is we gave a great show. And then next thing I know, we're headed to the airport. And I got mud all over me because apparently I fell in the mud.
You don't remember any of it?
I don't remember any of it. I blacked out. I woke up being carried basically into the airport. Yeah. But
a great show.
Great show. Yeah, great show. And the only reason I know it was a great show because I saw the playback the next day. So
Toby, I remember talking to Toby after that show. He's like, that felt good.
Yeah.
And I could feel, not even knowing that the Cardi B show hadn't gone that well or whatever, I could feel a switch in him where he felt that he was on to the live performing aspect of his job.
And that was the day where it went from being Derrick Hardy, the A&R, Derrick Hardy, the manager, Derrick Hardy, the psychiatrist, to Derrick Hardy, the DJ. Mm-hmm. Toby's
just
DJ.
Adding another hat. I mean, it seems like one of the coolest things about even you just explaining where you started from and where you are now is that you're doing and capable of doing so many different things, which makes you like an invaluable asset.
I drove on tour before. I was the driver.
Yeah.
I was the tour manager.
Well, I mean, especially when you're in, I mean, this is called It Doesn't Happen Overnight because we're focusing on the people that haven't reached that, whatever you want to call it, but are on their way there, that are there, is that like you are figuring it out, piecing it out all together. Like to have an established driver, this and this in the beginning doesn't really always make sense.
So I started off as Ethiopia Haptemariam's assistant. Uh-huh. She is the president of Motown Records. Yeah. And at one time she was the president of both Motown Records and Universal Music Publishing. Mm-hmm. And working for her, I was allowed to do whatever I wanted to. I mean, they would task, but I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. Like she would say, go to the airport and pick up an artist. You know, I enjoyed it. I was like, oh yes, driving. go do this, go do that. She allowed me to see that, do whatever it takes to get the job done.
Yeah.
So that's what happened with me. I was working with Toby. It gave me flashbacks to that period. Mm-hmm. It made me realize, I had a really dope thing at Motown. I was able to do whatever I wanted to. Sometimes I think about, wow, I should have really took more advantage of that at that time. But everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
But if I know what I know now, man, I would have been. It would have been curtains if I knew what I knew now. Yeah, back then it was crazy.
So it sounds like there may not be one, but if you can give anyone who is maybe thinking about going into something like this, whether it's A&R, managing, DJing, whatever, what does like an average, I'm going to say month, look like in the roles that you play?
An average month.
Or if it's harder to do a month, day, week, like just some type of
day.
tangible.
It's a day thing.
Yeah.
Toby, as you probably know, doesn't talk to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
He's really a hermit over there at his house because he got a studio there and everything. But he answers the phone for me. Mm-hmm. So
you are like the middleman between him and pretty much the rest of the world. Like even when it came to like refunding tickets for fans, that was like you being the point person for that.
So I'm the person that's constantly on his line.
Yeah.
I'm the person saying, yo, Toby, come with that, hey, Toby, we should do this. Mm-hmm. And then he may be, say, well, I don't want to do that. I want to either do this. And then we come to some type of agreement and we make it happen. Or I may say, hey, I know you like Adidas, but, let's try to do something with Nike. Mm-hmm. Or, hey, I know you like peanut butter and jelly. Let's try to find out how we can, exploit you to get this opportunity. And exploit, a lot of people think that's a bad word.
Yeah.
It's actually not. That's like
taking advantage of an opportunity.
Yeah, it's like you want to be able to exploit an artist in some, some form. Like publishing. A lot of people don't know how to explain publishing or know what publishing is. Publishing is nothing more than exploiting the copyright of an artist. Mm-hmm. Well, what I like to do is take that same mentality and just exploit the artist to build the brand and everything. Yeah. So whatever it takes to build the brand, whatever it takes to make you say, hey, I'm invested enough into Toby to where I'm going to buy a Buff Baby. I'm going to go on urbanoutfitters.com and buy one, or go to Urban Outfitters and get a record, or even listen to his music during my workout, or
whatever it is.
But you only want to do that when you're invested into the brand of the artist. It's not just the music you fall in love with. Jhene can go 2 years without doing music, but she can sell anything because you're invested into her. Mm-hmm. The fact that you care about her love life, the fact you care about what tattoo she's wearing, the fact that you care about, what makeup routine she has, it's because you bought into the brand. Yeah. So, and that's one thing, Taz was big on and still is big on. That's one thing that I learned from Taz is build the brand,
because I feel like that's what people, especially now when there's so much stuff on social media coming left and right, you want to have something that you're excited to see. Like, you want to be excited when Toby posts because it's going to be fun. Or you know that he engages with his fans on Twitter, so you are excited when you tweet him because he may tweet back. And it's just more the things that I feel like when I see his fans' response, it is a fan base, of course, but it also really feels like a family. And even when you think about his concerts and people being like, I wasn't afraid to go alone because Toby said, just do it. I'll take care. We will all be there together in this experience.
And in the beginning, because it wasn't easy.
No.
In the beginning, I remember calling Toby saying, man, we got to do something about your Twitter. You don't use Twitter. Why don't you use Twitter? And it's hard to believe now, but I think the answer was something to the equivalent of, I don't even know what to be saying. Because a lot of people think to tweet, you have to be promoting something or something like that. I like to do a Phil Jackson type thing. Mm-hmm. I don't like to tell you what you should do. I like to lead you to the answer yourself. Yeah. So Phil Jackson said with Michael Jordan, because Toby to me is kind of like a Michael Jordan, to where if you tell him something, sometimes he has his way of thinking. Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to lead him to this answer. Mm-hmm. Women do it all the time, but to guys. But
I'm really good at it.
I said, I'm going to...
I do both. I'm like, here's what we're doing. And I'm also like, what do you think? But also...
Yeah. So I would say, well, man, you're so personable and stuff and everything. Like, what do you think we should do here? He was like, man, I just want to be, I just want to talk to them like normal. I said, well, that's what we should do.
Yeah.
That's what was in my head anyway. But I was like, okay, let's do it. And I mean, now he's so personable. I mean, but he's always been like that. But sometimes as an artist, you get in your head.
Well, you also look at what other artists are doing, and a lot of other artists aren't doing that. And that's not maybe because maybe that's their personal choice, but it's like that's the point. You get to make a personal choice of how you get to run your accounts. Like that's why on Instagram, I literally post a story. Like some people are like, oh, I don't like posting stories like this and this. I'm like, oh, that's literally what I do all day. I'm like, if I have any like single thought, a random picture, I'm like, I'm just gonna post it, but like that's my personal choice.
But Toby educated me. See, you can learn from your artist too. A lot of people think that, oh, it's just, coming from the manager down to the artist. Toby has called me and said, man, you gotta do better with your post. Now, mind you, I was the person that used to call him all the time. Hey man, you gotta post all the time. You gotta post, you gotta post, you gotta post. And then it got to the point where he was like, no, it's about impact. It's not about just quantity. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And so now he'll hit me up. Now, mind you, I'm just his manager. You know what? You need to, instead of post that, you should post a video and, show people your personality.
It's two ways. I mean, a good managing artist relationship goes two ways.
Yeah. But it's funny because he realizes, well, not only realizes, but he's encouraging of, you got to build your brand too. Like, you got to build your brand. You know what I mean? He was giving me advice on my logo for my management company. Yeah. A management company that he doesn't get no money from, but he's like, nah, you should do this logo. No, you should do this. Like, he's almost like my manager.
He's doing the same thing for me right now. I literally am sending him and Tomi stuff 13 hours a day. I'm like, hey, what about this? You like this? No? And I'm just like, and they're not getting any stake in this, but it's the same.
Tomi's another one. I'm thankful I can, like, bounce ideas and stuff. And your time is coming where I'm sending you something too. Like, hey, check this out.
I'm here. So what is for you, like, what has been the highlight of this experience as far as being a manager, being A&R, being a DJ? Like, what is for you, like, oh, this makes it worth it?
It's probably like three things.
Okay.
One thing is when you get that text in the middle of the night from the person you're working with. In my case, it's Toby. And it's like, hey, man, I just wanted to say I really appreciate you. I love you, man, for life, man. You held me down. You did this and that. Those type of messages.
Just like the gratitude.
Yeah, those type of messages. And he does that a lot. Yeah. Like, he does that. He's not the type, like, there's been times where I'm like, I could just choke Toby. And then you get that text. And you're like, that's what it's about. It's not about the money and none of that stuff, And then there's times where you'll be on tour. And for anybody that's been on tour, you end up hating everybody. Everybody just ends up walking around like, I can't wait to get away from these people. But there's those times where I'm on the bus and, I'm on the couch. I'm looking at everybody in their bunks. Or I'm looking at people knocked out. I'm just looking around like, wow, these are my guys. Yeah. These are my teammates. These are the people I'm going into battle with, And it's a dope feeling. Yeah. Because when you're on that road, all you see is grass or desert to the side and nothing else. You can't even see ahead because it's blocked off because the drivers are separate from you. So it's like you're in a bunker. Yeah. It's like you're just shaking back there. You're just like, looking around.
A lot of time to think.
Yeah, a lot of time to think. So, those are the rewarding times where you can just look at your team and
see the camaraderie. And where you
it's like a basketball player that retires and says they miss their teammates. Yeah. I when we come off tour, Toby's not sad. He's happy. But a lot of true. But a lot of us are sad when we get off the tour, and mainly me because I have to interact with everybody on the tour, whether it's paying them, whether it's accommodating them. Yeah. I have to take care of them. They're my guys. They're like become my little brothers. So those are the moments where you're like, okay, I'm
like doing
what I love.
Who is like, Like in all of this, it really feels like you are, I don't know if caregiver is the right word. You are somebody that like, you enjoy the act of caring for others and like as a nurturer in any sense of the word, either as an artist or whatever it is.
So, of course, you know who Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis is, right? That's another conversation to have.
I was like, of course.
Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. They created the Minneapolis sound. They're probably on the Mount Rushmore of producers.
Okay.
All time.
Wait, yes, I do, because I saw a documentary where they were in it.
They produced for Prince,
yes.
Janet Jackson, you know. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, anybody that's ever been in the studio with them know that they talk their shit because they know they're the best. Mm-hmm. It's like being in there with Jordan. I can imagine Jordan just talking shit, you know what I mean? Terry Lewis, who's the toughest of the two, was just like, nigga, you don't know nothing about being an A&R, you know? And I said, yes, I do. He said, well, what's the first job of being an A&R? What's the first duty? What's your main duty? What's the main thing you're supposed to do? Mm-hmm. And I said, I'm supposed to make hit records. He said, see, I knew you didn't know. I'm like, find dope beats. These are things that everybody thinks, by the way. He said, you don't know. I said, identify great talent. Man, you don't know shit. That's all. That. I'm feeling like low now. Yeah. I'm like, wow, this legend is coming at me. And he said, I don't want you to ever forget this, which I haven't. Mm-hmm. He said, A&R's number one duty, number one task is to serve. If you're serving your artist, you're serving the label you work for, you're serving whoever you're in business with, you're going to do well, right? It stayed with me. There's a lot of times where, there's trash on the ground. I'm picking it up. Yeah. That's the mentality you should have, you know? Sometimes on the bus in the middle of the night, plunge in the toilet. Hey, it's not about me going to Toby with a long list of all the tasks I've done. Yeah, like I've never woke Toby up in the middle of the night and said, "Hey, bro. By the way, I'm about to plunge. I'm about to plunge in the toilet. Hey, bro, I'm about to do this and that, bro." You just do it because it's for the greater good of what we're trying to do, which is Toby talks about this all the time. You know, saving lives. Mm-hmm. It's real. This stuff saves lives, man. My nephew came on tour with us, and through the tour, he found out he had a gift. He could work in the music industry. The video for theme music, he put it together. He got all the but he never knew until he came on tour. Mm-hmm. That tour basically saved his life. He didn't know. Give him purpose. He didn't know. Yeah, it gives you a greater purpose. He didn't know he had this gift. Mm-hmm. I didn't know he had this gift. When tour comes around, there's some people that need money for rent. Yeah. Tour. So I can't be the person that fucks up the momentum. Yeah. I have to keep it going. That's why I've been hesitant to get an outside tour manager. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, is he going to do the same things that I do? With the same expectation that it's not exactly it's a you keep it going. Exactly. It doesn't matter if it's trash, plunging, handling ticket refunds, you keep the ship going. And yeah. I learned this from Taz because Taz would come up to Motown Records and say, "Hey, what you doing this weekend?" I'm going to be here. You're not going to Chicago for Lollapalooza? Nah, I'm going to fly you out. Find a flight, I'll fly you out. Mm-hmm. And then she's taking me around with her and Jhene and Donald Glover and all these people. I'm riding in a Uber with Donald Glover and stuff. And I'm like enjoying the good life, right? But she always used to show me this side. Yeah. And then I look at her and what is she doing? She's picking up trash. Yeah. What is she doing? She's doing everything you could think of. She's working the sound machine. She's doing everything she can to make sure that her artist is taken care of. Mm-hmm. So when I saw that, it was inspiring. It's so bad that you don't know how to even help her because she's doing so much. She's doing so much. You don't know how to match her hustle. And that's how it is with me and Toby. It's sometimes I don't even know how to use people because I don't think they can match my hustle. Yeah. Like, I'm up at night thinking about how can we make more of an impact? Not money. How can we make more of an impact? Because impact transcends all that stuff. I mean, I feel like that answers
even though we were talking about highlights, and it kind of wraps it in where it's like an average day, week, or month in this position is just serving and doing everything you can to keep everything going and to like handle the little stuff, the big stuff, because it's going to come with the glitz and glamour, and you're going to have your, oh, we're at this festival and this festival, meaning this person. You're going to have all of that too.
Yeah.
But you're also going to have the shit. We're on tour and our car just broke down, or we just got in an accident, and like,
which has happened.
Yeah, I pulled that from a real story that I know, where it's like, okay, that's also your responsibility to be like, how do we get to the show?
So let me tell you what happened. We're in Columbus, right? Long night. We're just ready to get to the next city, which is Detroit.
And you guys weren't in a tour bus. You were in a minivan.
We was in a minivan
point, going from hotel to hotel. Yeah.
And the driver, I'm not going to go into what happened, but we had an accident. I had a decision to make. I have a driver over here that's upset. I have an artist over here in Toby that needs to get to his next show. I'm like, okay, what do we do? Like, what do we do? Okay, I got it. Fly him in. But if I fly him in, I'm the DJ. He's not going to have a DJ. Then I got to fly the other guys in. I got to fly in Christian to do the merch because he's doing the merch at the time. I got to fly in Blake because he's doing all the camera work. That's 3 people, 4 flight. Do we have enough in the budget to do that? Probably not. Oh, how do we do this, right? I'm going through all the factors, and then finally I was just like, Uber. Let's Uber. How do we Uber this person? Uber him. I'll stay with the car. Guess what? Cal has a DJ. Okay, Cal's DJ. You told me if I ever need you, you'll look out.
This is the time.
This is the time. I'll send you all the music. So I had to go to a hotel.
Get Wi-Fi.
Send all the music to him and stuff. I put the guys in an Uber. Send them on their way. Put the merch in the back and stuff. The Uber came to about $244. But guess what? That $244 for 3 people is better than spending $1,200. I saved $1,000.
Yeah.
Right? So then I go get a new vehicle, then go meet the guys in Detroit, take the driver with me, but he's not driving, I'm driving. He's over here. Take the driver with me, go to Detroit. We get there just in time. The show had just ended. Guys get in the car, like, wow, we got a new car. We drive off to Toronto. We're good.
You just gotta make it work.
You gotta make it happen.
You gotta
make it happen.
You gotta be smart. You gotta be quick, because there's gonna be times where you have a couple days to make a decision. But there's gonna be times you have 20 minutes, and it's the 20 minutes that gets them there on time or not.
Yeah.
And it's just like kind of having both the flexibility, but also the finesse is the wrong word, I think, but it's
I like finesse.
Yeah,
finesse
I mean, like,
we're from Chicago.
Love
finesse is
finessing,
real.
and I'm like, you're like, okay, there's this way to do it, but there's what is the way I finesse this? And it's like, not actually a finesse, you just did it another transportation, but it just made way more sense. Time, money-wise, it just made all the difference.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. There's no book on how to do this or anything.
That's a good thing to say.
But I always tell someone that wants to like get into the industry, if you can take your ego out of it, you don't embarrass easily, you can pick up trash, you can go in the back and take out the trash in the studio. You can do little things like that where you don't get the glory. You could be in the industry.
I feel like that's not anything I'd ever thought of, and I feel like people go into this industry, both music, entertainment as abroad, because it has this glitz and glamour factor to it, but it's like that's not the easy stuff. That's the stuff that comes, but it doesn't come without the hard work. Yeah. Digging your fingers in whatever mud.
And taking losses and taking L's. Yeah. I was the person that packed up everything from Atlanta, packed up everything in Chicago, took a train to New York, lived there. Then after I lived in New York, packed up everything, moved to Atlanta, packed up everything from Atlanta, moved to Los Angeles. I'm living in my aunt's house in Pasadena. Universal's all the way out in Santa Monica. Takes 3 hours to get there on public transportation. I had to get up at 4 o'clock, be on the bus stop by 5, just to catch everything I need to get to Santa Monica, get there by 8. Wait till, everybody else gets there. work until probably like 7 or 8, and then do it all in reverse to go back to Pasadena. That was my daily thing for like a month. You know what I mean? I used to wash my boss's car. And then after I wash her car, wash the vice president's car. After I wash that car, like I'm going grocery shop. I'm doing all these things that a lot of people, I remember one of my friends in Chicago, Hustle Simmons, he said, man, I wanted to break into the industry too, but I'm not humble enough to go get somebody's coffee. I'm not humble enough to be washing cars. Can you imagine my big ass getting up and washing cars and getting coffee? That's what he said to me. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, I'm the guy actually doing it. Yeah. So now I'm hearing this from my friends, like, wow, you're humble.
You gotta be.
But you gotta be. If you really want it.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah.
On the inverse of the stuff that keeps you going or the stuff that you hold dear, what is like one of the hardest, and maybe it's something that you've already said, but what is one of the hardest things about the job that you do?
One moment, you could be all the way up here. Mm-hmm. You can have a hit record out. You can have a sold out tour. You can have all the happiness in the world. Yeah. And then you come back home and everything that you all the highs that you just had, you come back home to reality. And it's not that, listen, I love my daughter. I love my girl. I love my family. I love it. Mm-hmm. I love it. It's just something that you have to get used to again. You have to get reacclimated back to life. Because
it's not real life to be going from city to city, performing, meeting thousands of fans who are so excited to see you.
You start picking up you like, man, am I
post-tour depression?
Am I battling depression?
Yeah.
And then you check in on the other people that were on tour, and
you feel the same thing.
They're saying the same thing. The great thing about Toby is that Toby Toby hit me and said, yo, bro, I got to go check on the guys because they're going through it and stuff. So he would check on different people, you know, to let them know, hey, yo, we still rocking. I'm still your boy. Like, we still crew and stuff and everything. And so, like, because even the people that opened for us, you know, now they came off this sold out tour. They're not going to go out with us again because we got, you know.
You have to do new.
We got to do new acts. They got to do the new. Yeah, that's just
how it works.
And
but you still want to let them know, even though we're not going to be with you, like we're with you.
And you build these bonds, and you're like, wow. Like, it was so great on tour because Lil Trap Tendo, love him to death, love his family. They've been good to us and everything. And Femdot, that's like my little bro. His manager's one of my best friends in the world, Tamika. It's like, I'm really cool with Elliot. It's like, those are my people. And now this next tour, it's going to be a little bit different because it's not going to be as great as, I mean, not saying it's not going to be as great, but it's not going to be as familiar.
Yeah,
now it's
like you went with what you knew, and right now you're going to branch out just a little bit. Now it's something new that
happens this year. So I'm wondering how that's going to be. I mean, I know it's going to go great, but it's just a transition and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I bring that up to say, you get away from all of that, and you're like, wow, we had a good time. Yeah. And you end up missing it, you know? And then you're at home, you know, picking up your daughter from school and stuff. I enjoy it. Now I'm enjoying it. But when you first come home, you're like,
it's a very big
different. Switch. This is different. It's kind of like, you ever seen Dead Presidents? Mm-mm. In the movie Dead Presidents, Lorenz Tate.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Gotta spoil it. Lorenz Tate comes home from war. And he's expecting the hero's welcome. Mm-hmm. And his girl is like, go buy groceries. You're not doing this. You're not doing this for the house. You're not doing this. And he's like, God damn, I just came home from war. That was me. My girl's like, the dishes aren't done. I'm like, what?
It's funny that you say, like, when you're in this A&R manager role, you're like, you gotta be humble, pick up trash. Mm-hmm. And then when you go home again, you're like, is there no one else to do these?
Yeah.
I'm like, I was working then. Now you feel like.
Yeah, now it's like, what?
Yeah.
I gotta, what? Huh?
Yeah, I that's how I feel when I'm changing the scenario completely. But it's like when I go home and my mom's like, take out the trash. I'm like, I do that in my own home now. I'm like,
that's how I feel when I go home. Yeah. My mom, yeah.
I can't do. I'm like, oh, this feels like a lot more work for some reason doing it here than it did on tour. Because tour is my job. This is my home. I want to keep it clean. But when I'm there, I'm like, isn't this your house? Like,
And then, but I was just like, wow, it's an acclimation that comes to it. Like, you got to get back acclimated with real life. Yeah. But that's probably the toughest part. And then understand that sometimes that you're not going to make as much money in the beginning as you think you are. You think, oh, we're going to make crazy money. You're going to start off doing shows for free.
Yeah.
Then after you start off doing shows for free, you're probably going to get enough just to cover your...
covered,
yeah. Then after you do that, you might get 500 as a team. And then you got to divvy that 500 out. And then it just goes up and up. We're blessed now to where we have better days.
Yeah.
These around this time we have better days, but you just got to know that you don't just hit the jackpot immediately. Yeah. It's hard work.
And even...
You're going to be in the minivan.
Yeah.
You're going to be in the minivan.
And I feel like, so something that I said this on other episodes too, is just that what I've loved seeing about Toby's journey is it was, when I compare it to Tommy's, slower. Mm-hmm. However, he was able to build a team. Mm-hmm. Like when I saw that him and Stay Neutral were working together for 5 years, and I'm like, it's been 5 years. It's just like when you're at the point where you're not making money, you have the people around you who believe in you, who hear your song and say, we have to work with this kid. Where is this kid? And that's why I feel like it's been so great seeing this progression, because you guys were with him when you were doing shows for free, when no one was making money.
We met Blake at a show. Blake was just so inspired by seeing Toby. He wanted to work with him.
Blake was Toby's photographer on the first tour.
And then had a DJ set.
On the second tour, just for the audience context.
Yeah, so that's how we met Blake. My nephew DJ, Toby was kind of against it at first. Your nephew? You sure you want to have family drive? You sure? Kind of like that. And then midway through the tour, he was like, man, DJ's the MVP of the tour. Mm-hmm. So it's like you get to see, oh, these are the people I'm going to be rocking with. These are, all right, this is my team. This is it. So when we go out on tour this year, we already know. Like, I've had people send me resumes already. Hey, I want to go out on tour with y'all. And I still, talk to them, because you never know. Yeah. Somebody may say, hey, I can't do the tour this year, but, But I already know I have my team.
You have your core.
I have my core, And it's all about taking care of them and making them feel like their family, which they are. Case in point, Toby got, we had a sold-out tour. Mm-hmm. So everybody that was affiliated with our tour is getting a tour plaque. Yeah. That says sold-out tour. Take care of you guys. Let them know they appreciate it with their name on it and everything.
They were all a part of it.
Yeah, everyone was part of it. Yeah, and that's the genius of Toby, recognizing I gotta take care of my guys. So, yeah.
What for you do you define as making it? And I only ask that question because I feel like there's all these metrics of success these days, but and I also know that there's a point of it where it's like, yeah, I'm never going to be complacent. I'm always going to be going for that next thing. But what do you kind of define as that making it point for you?
It's crazy because I just came to the realization recently. Mm-hmm. I think everybody does this. We always say, man, I can't wait till I have $1 million in my bank account. Mm-hmm. Or man, I can't wait till I get that dream car. Or man, I can't wait till I get that dream house. And I'm here to tell you, I once had the dream house living in Los Angeles. And after living there, I wanted more. I had the dream car. I always wanted a Jeep. I was like, no, I don't want no Benz truck. I don't want no Rolls Royce. I want a Jeep. Mm-hmm. That was my dream truck. Once I got that, I want a Benz truck. You always want more. The great ones, I think, always want more. So now it's like, if I'm always wanting more, what is the gauge? I think the gauge is being able to say, wow, we're affecting lives. When we go out on tour and someone says, not just to Toby, when somebody comes up to me and says, yo, you inspired me to want to work in the music industry. Mm-hmm. It's like, wow, okay, I'm actually doing something. Mm-hmm. You asking me to be on this podcast, that's like, wow, I'm actually doing enough to where someone would care what I'm doing, mm-hmm. And I think sometimes we got to look at those little wins. Yeah. When I can say, hey, yeah, I spent all my money on, bills this month, but guess what? I'm in a position to spend all my bills.
Yeah.
I mean, pay for all my bills. Because a lot of people can't pay all their bills.
Yeah.
So those are when you're like, those are the moments where you're like, you know what? I'm doing something good. And I'm doing what I love.
I feel that so much, even weirdly already, and I haven't even released anything. I've just been letting people know that I have this new energy that I hadn't really ever had before, and it's because I feel like I'm doing something important, and I'm excited.
You look good.
I'm excited to release it.
I can see it in your face. You look happy and excited.
I feel it, and I feel excited, and it's just like I've had people already message me like, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm seeing your stories, and it's inspired me to X. And I'm like, that's so cool, because I think once I release what I'm doing, you may even have that even more. So I'm like, just this fact that this energy can be passed down and can help people do what they really are passionate about. I'm like, that is so cool to me.
When you asked me, I jumped at it because not only, I mean, I rock with you, and I rock with your family and everything, but I'm all for people chasing after their dreams, because I was a dream chaser myself, you know, and you know, whenever it's somebody that's actually passionate about something, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like this is just the beginning. Years from now, just have me on your show.
We were here in my living room.
I just want to be able to be on your show, because I guarantee you, if someone who dealt with Oprah back in the day, you know, was able to have a free passage on her show later on in life, they would take advantage of it. It's like stock.
Yeah.
I know what this is going to be. This is great already, but we're going to be neighbors up in the hills.
This is just the beginning.
Just the beginning.
I'm never moving out of this apartment because I love it, but I get the theory that you are saying.
Yeah.
So last question before we go into the speed round. What advice, whether tangible, whether just like big picture, do you have for someone who wants to do what you're doing?
Well, first, make sure you're passionate about it.
Yeah.
Make sure you have a passion about it, and make sure that, like, if you're not getting up in the morning and thinking about music and you're not thinking about the business of music, you're not looking at Billboard, you're not looking at then this ain't for you. You have to really have a passion about it. Everything I do says music. You go through my Instagram, every post says music or sports, because I work in sports too. Mm-hmm. Everything on Twitter that I talk about is either sports or music. That's it. If you want to do it to get girls, you want to do it to get the money, you want to do it for that, that's the wrong. This ain't for you. Mm-hmm. It's a passion of mine. I would do it for free. I've done it for free. I've done it. So I would say really gauge and be honest with yourself and see, do you really love this?
Yeah.
Do you really, are you going to put your own money in and invest in it? I'm sure you invested in this show.
I did. I did invest in the show. My mom too.
Yeah.
Mom.
But the fact that you even came to your mom with, don't buy me the latest boots or the latest, you know, I don't know, whatever buy these days.
Yeah.
But you said, hey, can you invest in my show?
Mm-hmm.
That's when you know, okay, you're really about this. So I rock with it.
Be passionate about it.
Yeah, be passionate.
All right, I'm getting my notes over here so I can ask you some fun bonus round questions. Okay. This should be first thing that comes to your mind, and it's just a kind of fun way to shake things up. So, what's a movie that has made you cry?
Wow. 7 pounds.
7 pounds?
Yeah.
Will Smith?
That messed me up. I was like, no, don't get into the tub. No, don't do it. Don't do it. And yeah, I was talking to the TV. Yeah.
That's emotional.
Yeah.
I like that. Favorite thing in your fridge right now?
Pickles and olives.
Pickles and olives?
I can eat pickles all day, and I can eat olives all day.
I can't get on board with that one. But yeah. I know there's pickle people are real. Like it's like that is some people's like thing. Mm-hmm. Cannot say I'm one of those. All right, last one. Your first CD.
My first CD.
Or your favorite CD. I say CD because that's like when it was real.
My first CD, see, I go back to tapes, but my first CD was Bobby Brown, Don't Be Cruel. Yeah, Bobby Brown, Don't Be Cruel. That was my ultimate, big time New Edition fan. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Any Heartbreak was my second. So yeah, they came out the same day. People don't know that. Any Heartbreak and Don't Be Cruel came out the same day in June. Yeah.
And you bought that?
Yeah, I bought both of them. Yeah.
Amazing.
But yeah, Bobby came first.
Thank you, Derrick, for being on It Doesn't Happen Overnight.
Okay.
This was amazing. This was super fun for me. I hope you had a lot of fun.
I had a lot of fun. I was expecting more questions.
Those are just three quick. I have to save them for the other guests. So.
I like it.
Tune in next episode to see another guest and to hear another story. And we hope that you are enjoying this channel. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're listening to iTunes, make sure to also subscribe because we have new episodes every week. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.